And it's going to be better than the last one. Okay, here we are. Okay.
Hey, everybody, and welcome back. It's 2020, and I'm Dutch McAllister here in the Dizzle Studios, along with my colleague, Jordan Pierce Owens.
Hey.
And also, alongside JPO, we have the undisputed, undefeated Aviator, the Dizzleator, B. Dizzle.
Yeah, we made it, baby.
Okay. I think
That was fun.
That was epic. I got to tell you, that was the most
hyped up intro. That was a 2020.
That was a 2020.
That was a 2020 intro.
I'm exhausted. I'm about to.
Let's wrap
Thank
it up.
you
for
We can't meet that
listening.
assignment.
I'm lightheaded. Oh my god. Okay. Now, anyway. So what do we got? What do we got this week? Geez, we haven't been in the studio forever. Owens, tell me, Mr. Owens, what do we got? What do we got?
We got a fun one for everyone tonight. Of course, we're looking back on the year that was 2019. Not too shabby, my friend. We're looking at the top 10 films of that year, in our opinion anyway. Dutch, I know you said you had some trouble with your list.
It was difficult, very difficult.
I had a little bit of a fight, you know. I mean, there's some great films. I could do a top 40 and probably defend all 40, probably even more if I really had to.
Yeah.
But we whittled it down to the top 10 skis. And I look forward to talking that. We're going to talk
In our
maybe,
5 honorables, we have,
some Golden Globe winners have happened, some new trailers, news, all that lovely stuff coming up today on the show about shows.
Hit the theme music. Oh, we don't have any theme music.
It's a show.
It's
a show about shows.
What kind
it's
of
show?
show?
It's a show about what shows? A show about shows.
Okay, I just want to interrupt, okay? I talked to you about this.
Hey, yo, it's a show about shows.
I
Don't
talked
you
to you
know?
about this.
It's a rap interlude.
And my mom doesn't understand these podcasts. And
She's tuned out already.
Yeah, she's already she's like, she
getting
told
to the
me,
point.
Dizzle, she told me this over the weekend that she my brother turned on the show for her to watch, and she was like, why haven't you gotten to the point yet? All you do is jibber jabber. And I said, yeah, because we kind of like to warm up people, get ready, people. It's going to be a long show. Sit back, relax. The show about shows.
What point about what?
My mom, I don't know. My mom just says we don't get to the point fast enough. We should be like a news station. We should just get to the subject and then and leave. And even though I've heard that from other people because they just can't stand Jordan, but I understand that people.
What?
No, I'm just messing. But no, it's a. So right now we've just lost my mom, so we're okay with that. That's fine. We'll get her back. But yeah. So let's get to the point then, right? There is a point to this, I think. Sometimes, once in a while. The first movie we're going to review is 1917. It's during World War I. Two British soldiers, Lance Corporal Schofield and Lance Corporal Blake, receive seemingly impossible orders in a race against time that they must cross over into enemy territory to deliver a message that could potentially save 1,600 of their fellow comrades in arms, including Blake's own brother. We have Dennis Charles Chapman, George McKay, something simple, and I screw that up. McKay, Richard Madden, Benedict Cumberbatch, Colin Firth, and Mark Strong appear in this. I'll just kick it off. I don't know, Dizzle, have you seen this yet? No, you haven't. Okay, and Jordan, I haven't seen it. Yeah, I gotta tell you, this movie is a beautiful masterpiece of a piece of. It's just a piece of art. It had everything you've ever wanted in a war movie, and it's just a great, steady one shot. The way they do it is just continuous one shot filmmaking. Of course, it's not like 100%. But they edit it just a way so it is like a one shot point of view, smooth as silk, and it has a lot of tension that builds throughout, and then it releases all at one time, and you're kind of like at the end. There was a few wet eyes in the audience. I did not. Usually, I do cry in most movies anymore, it seems, but this time it was not. Sam Raimi, I believe, was it Sam Raimi who was the director in this one? I believe. I didn't put that down, but
Sam Mendes.
Sam Mendes. I'm sorry.
Raimi Spider-Man.
I always get those two for
Toby
some
Spider-Man.
reason, mix them up. Skyfall, Mendes. But I got to tell you, it was a great, just a great act performance wise, and it's just a beautiful film, unbelievably touching, and I can't say any more about it. I'm just going to get to the snows on this one. And the snowflake is 5 snowflakes. It's that good. Rush out if you have not seen it. It is nominated. We'll talk about those later in another show, but about our opinions on these things. But the 1917 has been nominated for Best Picture of the Year, and Best Director as well. So it's just a great film. Go out, watch it. You will not be disappointed in it.
Hot damn, starting off with a 5-star review there in 1917. I'm sure I'll be revisiting that in the next couple of weeks myself here. So next up on the list, could it be another 5-star review? Probably not, because we're getting to 2020 movies. January 2020 movies.
2020.
Underwater. Disaster strikes more than 6 miles below the ocean surface when water crashes the walls of a drilling station. Led by their captain, the survivors realize that their only hope is to walk across the seafloor to reach the main part of the facility. But they soon find themselves in a fight for their lives when they come under attack from mysterious and deadly creatures that no one has ever seen before. This one stars Kristen Stewart, T.J. Miller, Vincent Castle, Jessica Henwick, John Gallagher Jr., and Mamadou Athie.
That was very good on that last name.
I saw it on the list before, and I was like, I'm just gonna go with something.
I'm gonna phonetically get this down because I was kind of confused. I was like, I hope I open the show this week because usually whoever opens goes first. I was just happy.
That's why you jumped on 1917.
You're damn right, son. You're damn right.
Again, obviously, small apologies if that's not how you pronounce it. I'm just guessing.
It's good enough for me.
It sounded smooth, right?
And right there, we have a picture of the whole cast. That's basically the whole cast.
As you mentioned too, when you read the cast at the end of the movies, it's pretty much them.
Yeah, it's like 2 seconds of cast, and the rest is nothing but production.
Yeah, it is. And this movie does one thing. This movie starts out right away. If you've seen the trailer of her brushing her teeth and going, oh, look, a little bit of water. Oh, look, a lot of water.
Yeah.
That is the movie. The movie starts off with Kristen Stewart, and the SHI to the T goes down.
Yeah.
And you know what, man? For a January release, for just a straightforward kind of, we've seen movies like this before. We've seen it done better, but we've seen it done a lot worse, too, actually. Yeah. I had an okay amount of time with this.
I enjoyed it.
You don't get too much of a backstory on any of these characters. There might be a relationship, like a boyfriend-girlfriend between two of them. Maybe not. I don't know.
Well, there was.
There
was between two of them.
Well, but were they together or not?
Like they were together.
They were together.
They were together in this film. That's Gallagher Jr. and Jessica Henwick's character. Well, it's not a spoiler. They kind of go over it right away. But yeah, as you said, it jumps right into the fire real fast.
To the water.
Into the water on this end, yeah. But there's also some fire, I think, and electricity. But I got to tell you, I enjoyed this ride. It got me one time, and actually, out of a one jump, you know how you're always looking for one jump scare, not to scare you. This one got me. One jump scare, it got me, and had me hooked from that point on. I was like, okay, you got me. Okay, show me what else you got. And it's the same performance you usually get from Kristen Stewart. Not as bad.
No, I thought she was good in this.
I thought she was. No, what I'm saying is, she doesn't emote a lot as good as she could. I think I've seen her better in the one with the kid would go to Alaska movie. I can't remember that one all of a sudden.
Into the Wild,
I believe it was.
Okay.
She was only in it briefly.
From a decade ago.
Yeah, but she was very good in that one. But you can't, comparing her to Charlie's Angels. Yes, she was a way better actress in this movie.
I don't know if I would even agree with that, to be honest with you. This was a better movie, but I wouldn't necessarily say she was a better actress.
I think she was.
She did fine in what she was given in Charlie's Angels. Actually showed a little bit of personality.
I don't blame her for the movie. I don't blame her for the movie, but I'm just saying, I don't. Her performances to me are kind of stale as usual. But this one actually brings it up a little bit, and I enjoyed it. And I got to tell you, it had me guessing about what are these things that are going after them, and they finally did the reveal, and I was kind of thinking, oh, That's interesting. I was thinking, could it be tied to something else in the future? You know what I'm saying? I was thinking, well, could these be tied to Pacific Rim? Could you bring another franchise in on this? And it's possible you could if you really tried to do something. If I don't.
Oh, well, I like the fact that it didn't though.
I know, but I just thought to myself,
you don't need to always piggyback. Yeah.
Yeah. We'll talk more about our tie-in movies later on our next review. But all in all, though, I give this 3.5 snowflakes. A lot better than I thought it was going to be. I thought it was going to be the drizzling garbage, but it turned out to be a fun suspense 1 hour 33-minute film. If it was any longer, I would have probably been giving it a lower score. But 3.5 is a very good score for a first movie in January to me.
I'm gonna go a little bit lower than you. I'm gonna give it three snowflakes.
Okay.
It zips along in a nice pace. It does a little bit towards that second half. I was a little draggy. I thought, you know what I mean, and it didn't really, like I said, I don't think it ever reached that next level. A lot of slow mo throwing Kristen Stewart around. Notice that?
Yeah,
There's multiple times where it's like, and it's
well,
always
you're
her.
in water, so it's,
I'm just saying, it was
things
cool
do
effect,
move
I
slower
guess.
in water, I think.
But they do the Jaws effect. You don't really get a crazy view of the monster, which is good, I think, to a large degree.
Less is more. Less is more.
Yeah, absolutely. So I think this is perfectly fine. A little bit of a pleasant surprise in a way. We never know what you're gonna get with these releases, and we're both giving it pretty solid. Check it out reviews.
Well, speaking of January releases, we got what we deserved with this one. It's called Like a Boss. Best friends Mia and Mel run their own cosmetic company, a business they built from the ground up, but they're also in over their heads financially, and the prospect of a buyout offer from an industry titan proves too tempting to pass up. The beauty business is now about to get ugly as the proposal puts Mia and Mel's lifelong friendship to the ultimate test. This stars Jordan's favorite actress, Tiffany Haddish, Rose Byrne, Salma Hayek, Billy Porter, Jennifer Coolidge, Jacob Lattimore, Karen Sunny, Ari Grainer, Natasha Rothwell, Jessica St. Clair, Jimmy O. Yang, and Ryan Hansen to round it all out. I'm going to get to why I gave it what I gave it in a minute, but this movie was not very entertaining otherwise. We had a good crowd, and that's what makes sometimes a movie a little better, because and
Which were my coworkers, by the way.
yeah, which I found very fascinating. There's a clip right there, a scene where you see Tiffany, holding on for dear life. God bless her. Too bad they didn't let her drop during it, because it probably would have had a little bit more funniness to it. But I just found this movie very hard to watch most of the time. But again, the crowd around me made it fun. There was a scene where, I don't want to ruin things, but the comment was just hilarious that was happening behind me. I told you about it probably.
They enjoyed it.
The crowd, it was predominantly an African American crowd, and who was there, and that's nice. It's nice, they go out and support. But as I have, I've talked to some of my friends, and they said it was fine. I could say this, but as we all know, there's a lot of talking sometimes, and they're fun to listen to. It's fun. I do the same thing when I'm at a horror film. He hates me in a horror film because I do talk a lot. And there's a scene where Rose Byrne and kind of turns a little bit on Tiffany Haddish in this film that tests them, right? And one of the girls goes, "See, I told you that white girl would turn on her in a heartbeat." And I was just like, that is funny. That made me laugh more than what was on the screen. I like funny outside the box jokes. And we got those from, unfortunately, our audience this evening. But it was a decent, it was probably about a handful, about a smattering of 10 people at least.
That's not good.
But again, it was on a Sunday night at 10 o'clock at night. Or at 7 o'clock at night. 7 o'clock. Yeah. We had actually more people underwater when we went. But what were your thoughts on this? Because it was really a kind of forced jokes all over the place. Cheap jokes.
Yeah, cheap's a good word. I think this is a lame duck of a movie, pretty much from the get-go. Maybe had a couple forced chuckles out of me. I feel like this movie's trying really hard to be R-rated, and I love an R-rated comedy, don't get me wrong, but at the same time, I just feel like they're like, oh, everything's got to be just a little vulgar or nasty, and just, and this scene
They forced the F word a lot.
It seemed forced. It seemed like you were trying to be like the next Girls Trip or Bridesmaids, or you know what I mean. It just doesn't work here. A lot of the other female characters are very much throwaways. Billy Porter's kind of funny. In the
Yeah,
one
I enjoyed
scene
his character.
that
you
we've
know.
seen, in the trailer 1,000 times. Witness my tragic moment. He does what he can with it. Jennifer Coolidge, great actress. I thought her line sucked.
They didn't do much with her.
Almost to the point where every time Jennifer Coolidge was on screen, I was actually kind of like, let's move on. And again, I love Jennifer Coolidge.
Yeah,
but
I do too. I've seen her in numerous funny
this
things.
was just one of those poorly written side characters where, like, now she's gonna say some dumb and throwaway, and it's not gonna add to the scene. If anything, it's gonna make me roll my eyes.
I don't know. I know. I'm sorry to interrupt, but the two characters that I really thought we could expose more would be Jimmy O Yang and Ryan Hansen. The cherry top,
They're
the
playing
cherry
themselves
pop
now.
guys. And I thought to me, those guys were fun. I mean, why don't they bring those guys in as more of a foil?
And
You know what I'm
funny
saying?
enough, when we were watching Underwater, the trailer for
The spin-off
Mystery
movie.
Island.
That's what you say,
and those two characters from this movie are high-fiving each other, same actors.
Yeah, same exact
So,
actor. So I'm
It'd be
thinking
funny if we said they were in the same universe.
yeah, they're in the same universe, and they're both trying to get revenge on Tiffany Haddish and Rose Byrne's characters. That would be
And,
awesome.
even just the defense of Byrne and Haddish, I don't think I would mind that. Like, I didn't mind their chemistry. I think in a better written script.
Yeah.
And that's the problem with this too. It's just the idea of these two friends starting a business. Blah, blah, blah. It's a good enough script. It's a good enough idea, and it failed on so many levels. I feel. You mentioned Ryan Hansen and Jimmy O Yang's part.
Yeah.
Remember the scene where, like, they're doing a make-off?
Yeah.
And they turn the girl around. Everyone's like, ooh, and like they're so glad that, like, these guys are like pigs.
Yeah.
Like it's just really, really, I don't know. Just
Yeah,
it didn't work.
The chemistry, though, as you said, the Tiffany Haddish and Rose Byrne, they were nice.
That wasn't too bad.
And like I said, I'm not a big fan. I'm just going to say this of Tiffany Haddish ever, but The Kitchen made me say, okay, she has promise if she wants to get away from, say, the stereotypical character she's been known to play now in comedies, like in Night School or this one, or even Girls Night Out. It's just I just find she needs
Girls
to
Trip.
Girls Trip. What was Girls Night Out was the awful Johansson one, right?
That's a rough night.
It just seems such. They all look the same. They all look the same, and we own both, I think.
If anyone at home playing me, take a shot every time Dutch says an actress or a name title wrong. You're already drunk, aren't you?
Probably, and that's you know what. Let me just mess them up. Tiffany Haddish, anyway. But no, it's. I just
Rose
feel.
Green?
I just find that.
I always love that Jennifer Coolidge, her rich
Mike.
persona. I've liked that, but like the American Pie or whatever.
Stifler's mom.
Yeah.
I love that, but I don't know. I haven't seen too.
Well,
much
even
of
in
it.
what was she in? Pretty in Pink, or not Pretty in Pink? The one with the pink. Elle Wood. What was her name?
Legally Blonde.
Legally Blonde. There we go.
Pretty in Pink.
Look, it's 2020.
I knew it was a color.
It's some goddamn colors. Her favorite color is pink, right? Right? Anyway, Jesus. 20.
They're making a third.
Can we just get over this and let me just give you my number and then I can move on for the rest of the night?
Yeah, let's move on from this movie. What do you got, buddy?
My number for this, because like I said, the audience made me enjoy it more than I probably should have. 2.5.
Yeah, again, you're overrating movies tonight. It's 1.5. I'm sorry. This thing is
It's
insulting.
a 2. It's a 2.
It's insulting. It's bad. I don't want to see it again. I saw it because
I'm
I'm a
never
sucker
gonna see
for
this
bonus
again.
points, and I wanted to see a 2020 movie. This thing's bad, man. Like
It's at least a 2, but a 2.5 maybe for the audience.
I think that's almost like I love you and I get what you're saying, but that's a cop out to me. Like just because the audience liked it, I'm sorry, the audience.
No, that's what made it fun for me.
Likes other shitty films.
Well, that's what I like sometimes. Sometimes I like to have a bad film and people has heckled the hell out of it. It's a fun time. So anyway, we can't show that. No. Yeah.
Hold on.
Okay.
Wait, scroll up though. What are we looking at?
But anyway, it's not being seen. We're cool. So we're looking at the body of her work.
Zing.
So
Right, remind me after the show's done.
so what is your? You're going to be doing these solo, but just tell me about them. Let's go.
So next up, we have Uncut Gems. Howard Ratner, a charismatic NYC jeweler, always on the lookout for his next big score, makes a series of high-stakes bets that could lead to the windfall of a lifetime. Or maybe something else. I had that last line because, that is part, obviously, of the movie.
Yeah.
This one stars Adam Sandler, Julia Fox, Kevin Garnett, Lakeith Stanfield, Idina Menzel, Judd Hirsch, Abel Tesfaye, and John Amos. So yeah, this is the movie everyone's been talking about from the Safdie brothers. A potential snub, if you will, for Mr. Sandler here, because he did not get the Oscar nod. In fact, the whole movie, I want to say in general, didn't get anything. Screenplay,
nothing.
I thought it had a good shot for like editing or cinematography.
You really thought those Sandler could actually get something on this?
A lot of people did, man. That was definitely a talk of the town from when it debuted till the night before that Sandler was in the running, and it just unfortunately didn't get there. There you see him playing the lead character. Let's see if I remember. Oh, Howard. I should have remembered that. And I like this one a lot, though. Actually, man, it's again talk about a fast paced film. He's moving from deal to deal. It's almost like a really ever seen a sitcom when they keep having to make different deals with people? This one's obviously more of a drama where just, he's taking the watch to bet off for the other thing that he owes, to bet off for the other thing, and he's making some mistakes. He's kind of a POS. He's kind of a dirtbag, but at the same time, there's a little bit of heart to him, you know what I mean? So the deal he strikes with Kevin Garnett originally about this big jewel and lets him hold it. I thought it was tense. I thought it was a great performance from Sandler. Great also,
Did it resurface his pool?
No, I don't know what you're talking about. No, I don't believe. Yeah, I believe that is just a lie, like someone makes up about him.
Yeah,
I don't remember that being found out to actually be a lie. It was a lie, rather. Great ensemble cast too. Julia Fox making, I believe, one of her screen debuts here, or her screen debut. Kevin Garnett, basketball player, totally good in everything. Lakeith Stanfield, always a great presence, as well as Menzel and Hirsch, and Tesfaye is The Weeknd. He's in this a little bit. So. And I really liked it, man. I thought that it's a good, it's a good bad time in the theaters. Some people felt like it's too tense. I know you mentioned, some people mentioned how there's a lot of yelling, and there
over
is,
the characters talking like how we do sometimes.
And there is. I mean, even inside the shop when Garnett and his group's talking while Sandler's talking while the receptionist's talking, and you definitely you have that. But I don't know. I thought it fit the tone. It fit the premise. I really liked it. I give it 4.
Okay. Well, I will probably try to get to this one. Sometime this year, I will try to get to it. I promise you. So,
okay.
I'm not going to rush out because there's a lot moving around to see.
Well, here's a movie you don't have to rush that far for. It's on the Netflix.
The Netflix.
The most anticipated sequel of the year. Benchwarmers 2.
Breaking
balls. A washed-up baseball player becomes an attorney. He gets a chance at redemption when his boss asks him to manage the company's softball team in hopes of winning the championship. This one stars Chris Klein, John Lovitz, Lachlan Monroe, and Chelsea Rice. And boy, oh boy, do I want my time back.
I could have told you that before you even started that
time. This is one of those awesome. Did anyone love the first one? Did it make enough money? Did it get any reviews higher than a C minus?
No.
And it's also one of those sequels too where no one but Lovitz, who I'm sure if we had $20, we'd get Lovitz on this couch if we wanted to.
I don't want to spend that much.
That's the ticket. And yeah, I actually laughed a little bit at some of the setup at the beginning with some of the characters, but then unfortunately it just doesn't know what to do with it past any cliched past that. The laughs are just non-existent here. And you're ready for this hour-and-a-half movie to wrap up probably pretty quickly around the 30-minute mark. I've seen worse direct-to-DVD and Netflix movies, and you're rolling your eyes here. And
I don't think you can actually see worse than this so far.
Oh, no, there's worse.
Yeah, there's probably worse, but not a Nicolas Cage film. I can tell you that right now.
I'd rather watch this than Sextuplets with Marlon Wayans again. And
Jesus Christ, Marlon Wayans.
I'm going to give it a solid 1.5. Right up there with Like a Boss.
Wow, really?
Hell yeah.
Like a Boss at least got a courtesy, put out there in the theater.
Yeah, because it had a bigger budget and it had actors that.
But it had John Lovitz. Your film had John Lovitz in it.
You're a douchebag.
Yes.
John Lovitz doesn't even like John Lovitz. No,
and you got another one for me. So
we got Richard Jewell coming up for you, ripped from the headlines at the Olympics held in Georgia in '96. Security guard Richard Jewell thinks quick, works fast, and saves hundreds, maybe thousands of lives after a domestic terrorist plants several pipe bombs and they explode during a concert, only to be falsely suspected of the crime by sloppy FBI work and sensational media coverage. This one stars Paul Walter Hauser, Sam Rockwell, Kathy Bates, John Hamm, Olivia Wilde, Nina Arande, Wayne Duvall, and Ian Gomez. And it's from Clint Eastwood. I heard he was very distraught when he found out that Richard Jewell in real life passed away a few years ago because he wanted to cast him as himself in this movie.
Well, you know how that
Like
happened.
Paris movie.
Can I tell you? If that would have been true, let me just tell you this.
It worked so well last
yeah, that's what I'm
time.
saying. It worked so well last time in that Paris film.
People love that damn Paris movie.
Yeah,
right?
I think it lasted 5.
Right, you son of a bitch, say right.
No, I am not saying right. But yeah, that was an awful film. But this one I've been wanting to see. So tell me what you think about it, Boss Man, because I really have wanted to see this.
No, I really liked it. It's a very interesting tale for someone, especially someone like me that is very ignorant and not knowledgeable of this situation of this past. So I was legit on the kind of edge of my seat, wondering what's going to happen.
How old were you in '96? Can I just
I'm
ask?
6 or I'm 5 even.
So
depending on what month
that's
this
the
happened.
difference in why
I'm probably
time
6
is
at this
different than
point.
yours. I was probably like 20 at the time.
Yeah, I'm sure. I wasn't watching the news. It was probably glossed over, not talked about for my parents.
Yeah.
And so I was legit on the edge of my seat. Actually, I did not know what the outcome of this guy was. Will he go to jail? You know what I mean? Will he get arrested for this crime? And some great moments in this. Hauser, who I've been talking about since I think I Tonya, his supporting role in that. And
You mean
he's had several
I,
supporting
Tonya?
ro- was it Tonya?
My God, people, take a drink. Jordan
My
messed
bad.
up on a name.
Ever Since Tanya, which I thought he had a great breakthrough performance in.
Yeah.
And he's had several since then as side characters. He's great. He's great in this. Richard Jewell he's an interesting character because he even throughout the film, one of the recurring gags is he kind of helps them make a case against them. You know what I mean? He wants the respect and to be a cop himself. So he's constantly like, yeah, I'll do a voice test and anything, officer. Because he wants to be respected by John Hamm and be like him. Even.
Almost to his own detriment. That's a bad
yeah,
thing.
to his own detriment. Sam Rockwell will get distracted and leave the room, and he'll come back and he's given fingerprints and voice samples and this is just one of those great. It's a great ensemble cast.
Kathy Bates.
Kathy Bates, who I believe did get Oscar nominated,
Yes.
everyone's favorite mom since Waterboy, still being a great mother here. She has a couple great moments later on during a press conference and throughout it. Rockwell's fantastic in this. I thought he could be considered a snub a little bit. Ham's really good. Wilde has some great moments as well. And yeah, I just thought it's a smallish story, but it really hits you. You know what I mean? I could see this being maybe if this wasn't in theaters and Clint Eastwood, this could have maybe gone to HBO, which is not necessarily a detriment. I'm not trying to say that as a bad thing.
No, they might have broken up in 2 spots.
You know what I mean? I'm saying, how you see a lot of smaller talky films Game Change and stuff like that.
Yeah.
But I just think it's well made. I was interested, and yeah, I'm gonna give it a solid 4.
Good. It's good to hear that. I do want to look at this film, basically, because I do want to check it out. Just, there might be some inaccuracies I hear in it, but other than all that, shouldn't ruin the performance.
What? Or do you want to talk later?
Well, because it's been out there enough now. It's been out for a while. Olivia Wilde's character, the journalist for the Atlanta Constitution, and John Hamm's character, the FBI agent, are usually. She says that they're saying that she had sex with him to get the information, and that didn't really happen. People are trying to dispute that part of it.
Sensationalize that part.
Correct.
Simply make it a more interesting movie.
Correct, and even Olivia Wilde has apologized for that part of it. So. But yeah, so those were the movies then this week. We got to listen about Benchwarmers 2. We got to see a review about Richard Jewell. What was the other one that you had this week?
Just now, whatever I did just now.
Like a Boss. We had 1917. We had Underwater. And did I get anything else? Those are it. There you go. Richard Jewell. Yeah, well, I'm just saying. He had, I didn't know if he had 3 or 2. I got confused. I think that Benchwarmers 2 just blew my mind. I don't know. I just felt it that way. But let's get to the good part. Our top 10 2019 films. Because
Top 10.
And like I said, this was the most difficult time that I've ever had. I was looking at all 120 films that I have on my list, and there's still more that I could probably add to it because I noticed I did forget somebody and I had to put it on. But 120 I saw. You probably saw way more. And then you got to start going through them all and fine tooth combing and saying, okay, I remember this one. So you got to highlight the ones that you like, and then you got to cross check this one, and then you got to do this one. And, and also, you look at your ratings that you put out there, but you question some of your ratings too sometimes. You're like, why did I give it that high of a score? You know what I'm saying? At that time. So, but yeah, so you go through it and you go for it. And these are what we came up with, I think. And it's just going to be a good time. And then, I know next show we're going to talk about the Oscars, right? We're going to talk about the Oscars next show.
Are we doing an Oscar show?
Yeah, we're gonna do we're gonna do an Oscar wrap show for now, and then we're probably gonna try to do the thing that we did last time. So do you want to start it off, Jordan, or do you want me to start it off for my deal? You had you first, but that's all right. Okay, so the top 10 films. We have 15 through 11. These are my honorable mentions here. We had coming in at 15, we had Peanut Butter Falcon. Number 14, Blinded by the Light. Number 13, Dolomite Is My Name. Number 12, John Wick Chapter 3, Parabellum. And number 11, Judy. Those are my lovely...
I like your honorables. I may talk about a couple of those myself.
Do we want to just go through their honorables first, or did you want to just do...
Give me your 10.
Okay. I'm just making sure, because sometimes I just like to get those out of the way. Number 10, Parasite. Yes, it's been nominated for Best Picture. It's been nominated for Best Foreign Language Picture as well. And again, this movie is such a great thriller, dark comedy. And it still sticks with me to this moment. And it's a great social class type film. And you can see the parallel lines that are drawn in today's society in America. And, they're the same way. The social castes are always different. And everyone wants to be involved in where the people are who are the higher ups. They always want to try to get into that upper echelon and live that life. And that's what this family does. And that's what I got. Number 10 is Parasite. So, what do you got for your deal, Mr.
Well, we're doing no clockwork. So, Dizzle, are you ready with your 10?
You got your 10?
Falcon.
Do you have any honorables first?
Do you have any honorable mentions?
No, I do not.
Okay, so number 10 is who?
Peanut Butter Falcon.
Peanut Butter Falcon is number 10 for B. Dizzle. Why did you put it at number 10, boss? Did you like it? I mean, what did you think about that film?
Oh, I loved it. Everything was great. I loved the cast, the acting. It was heartfelt. It was a great afternoon.
Yep, and we might, so that's good. And Jordan, you're next.
So, obviously, disclaimer, you said how many movies you saw, Dutch?
About 120.
Okay, I'm about 138. So, a little bit more. We're in about the same ballpark, though.
I've watched 300.
You're a dirty liar. Disclaimer, obviously, we have not seen every movie. As you mentioned, you haven't seen, Uncut Gems, Marriage Story.
I still have to watch that still.
Dizzle hasn't seen quite a few. I haven't seen 1917, Ford v. Ferrari. So, these are obviously the top 10 that we have seen that have stricken our hearts this year. My honorable mentions are How to Train Your Dragon, The Hidden World, Fighting with My Family, The Irishman, Shazam, and Spider-Man Far From Home. Wow. Those are my honorables. And my number 10 is Brittany Runs a Marathon, movie we saw several months ago.
Yes.
Were you about to say something?
No. I like that film. And by the way, if we're at having number 16, Brittany was at 16.
So she's an honorable.
She almost made an honorable mention, and, along with another movie, but we'll probably talk about that later. But no, Brittany, though, was a great movie.
Yeah, it is a fantastic leading performance from Jillian Bell, I would say, for her who I forgot name of. No, but Jillian Bell gives a great performance here. I thought it was funny. It was layered. It's definitely something that I'll admit is a little personal to me. So, that definitely added to my experience a little bit more. I look forward to actually rewatching it again, even though it can hit the feels. I actually do want to experience it again. So, I think that's...
And you can watch it as much as you want on Amazon Prime right now.
Oh, yeah, that's right. I forgot.
Yes.
I always forget.
Yeah.
So Amazon Prime, if you have the Prime, check out Brittany Runs a Marathon. That's my number 10.
My number 9 is a documentary.
We don't do documentaries. Get out.
Oh, it was, and I gotta say, this is an Oscar snob as well.
Snub or snob?
Snub and snob, because some people are just snobs about this. But Apollo 11, the documentary, very good. Still resonates in my soul. It makes I don't know. It's just perfectly done. Just beautifully shot. Even though it's never done by the director himself, it's just clips that he pulled, and it's just mastered in greatness and rich color of the times. And it just brings you back that excitement, as I said earlier this year, excitement in the space thing. I'm not talking these space soldiers they're coming up with now in this administration. I'm talking, this is the real space cowboys, and I'm not talking Tommy Lee Jones and all them. I'm not talking Armageddon cowboys. I'm talking Space of the Final Frontier kind of cowboys. And we're just going over movies, but Apollo 11, great documentary. Take a look at it. And again, to me, I think it was an Oscar snub for documentary.
That's mine also. That's my number 9.
Oh, number 9.
It's interesting. Yeah, it's one I haven't seen, but yeah, it's funny. These last 2 years, you could argue the two biggest snubs. As far as when I say snub, when I say snub too, I mean movies that truly, we could argue all day. Maybe
they resonate
Sandler,
somehow.
Maybe Greta Gerwig for director, but this one is almost to the point where it's almost baffling that it's not above some of the other ones.
Yeah,
you know what I mean. It was one of the most seen, one of the most talked about. Yep. Same thing with last year with is it not a Beautiful Day Neighborhood, but the other one, Won't You Be My Neighbor?
Won't You Be My Neighbor, yeah.
That was truly a snub because it was like, wow, everyone just almost took for granted that would get nominated. I think a lot of that happened with Apollo, a movie a lot of people are talking about. So interesting. My number 9 is a movie I don't think you'll have on your list. I just think it's visually stunning. It's a follow-up from a director that I absolutely love. That's Us. I loved Us. I was enthralled from beginning to end. It's something you can pick apart later on, unfortunately, which you can do with a lot of movies, Dark Knight Rises, so on and so forth. But as far as that first theater experience, and still to this day, if you have like a 4K, watch that 4K. Yeah. I love Us. Great performances. Lupita Nyong'o, arguably a snub for actors.
Absolutely.
So, yeah, I love that movie. Jordan Peele still ready for his next one.
Number 17 on my list.
Oh, so you did like it a lot.
I liked it, but I'm just saying it was like so close, and I was like, how can I squeeze it in? Then I said, I can't squeeze it any harder, and unfortunately, things like that do drop off the table. My number 8, it was probably the funnest movie I've had. One of the fun movies of this year, and it got nominated just for only a screenplay. Knives Out by Rian Johnson. To me, that movie was just unbelievable, and he's already said, if he could come up with the next screenplay for it, and he's available, he's going to do it again. So we're going to have another, Daniel Craig possible as just LeBlanc character, the investigator LeBlanc, and just like another tale, basically, of his travels, and his cases. Nothing more than that, And I just love the cast, the ensemble that was put together. You had Chris Evans, who put in probably the best anti-Captain America performance of the year for him. It's even Jamie Lee Curtis, even Don Johnson put in a hell of a performance.
Keep going, buddy. Michael Shannon,
everybody, Toni Collette. Everyone in this film showed up.
Lakeith Stanfield.
Yeah, everyone just put a heck of a performance together.
Mel Gibson.
No, Mel Gibson was not in this. The other guy, the Kevin Spacey cover. Plumber. I just found this movie so fascinating, so fun, and I wanted, and as soon as I walked out of the theater with you, I said, I want another one with Daniel Craig. I want one now, and hopefully we'll get that within the next 2 years. I'm hoping.
Yeah, you mentioned before about like your 16, 17s. This is probably right around my 20 mark or so. I enjoyed this film as well. And you stole a news and notables, by the way, because I was going to talk about how.
Oh, I'm sorry, but I was excited to hear about that
that's
too.
Great. That's one of my news and notables.
But we still talk about it.
Is saying, he's currently developing the idea, and obviously to have Daniel Craig back.
Yeah, I can't wait. And he even talked about during that because I know it's Dizzle's turn. But I loved how he was saying that they had to shoehorn Daniel Craig into this film because he had just a couple, like less than 30 days to work on this film. He was only there for like 2 weeks or something like that to work it because he had to do it before Bond took off. So they kind of shoehorned him in just to get him into that part, and he took it. And what a performance! That's a missed opportunity as well, I thought. But even as a supporting actor, missed supporting. But anyway, Dizzle, what do you got for number 8, my good man?
Number 8, you guys will probably have up around 1 or 2. I'm sure we'll be hearing about this later on, but will have to be Beach Bums, pushing the wheelbarrow down Duval Street. Classic, all-time favorite.
No.
Great.
I'm going to say that right now.
Let me look at my list here.
I don't even. You know what? That's one movie I've not seen this year, and it's probably it's just gonna be sitting there in the pool tide somewhere. The riptide's just gonna take it out in the ocean for me.
That is a great movie, man.
It's your number 8. So
a lot of heart, a lot of fun. Florida film. Go see it.
No,
it made my top 80.
Wow! So it made mine never top. So we're okay.
Oh man, that's a great.
My number 7 now is a movie that actually has been talked about.
Did we do a number 8 for you?
No, let's have a number 8.
Yeah, let's do a number 8. This is how I get confused. So I'm trying to keep color coded of what I got going on down here.
We'll talk
for
about
once.
7 later. Let's have a number 8.
See, I got my stuff color coded this time, so I know what I'm looking at.
it's actually, I guess I can still slightly say what I was going to say. I believe it was an honorable for you. John Wick Parabellum.
Yes.
Is my number 8. Just talk about a trilogy, man, that has continually found a way to just keep kicking ass, keep bringing in slightly new ways. Now you got Halle Berry's involved in this third one, and she was a welcomed addition.
Oh, absolutely.
Despite the fact, I think people, unfortunately, when you have actors or actresses that maybe have done a few movies in a row, you forget how good they are. But then when they are in something that can sink their teeth into, you go, "Oh shit, they're awesome." Same thing with even Keanu Reeves to a degree. Yeah. When that first one came out, people were like, "Keanu, I don't know." Now everyone was like, "Keanu."
I was always a Keanu fan, so I was kind of going with this.
I just think this thing is so much fun from beginning to end. Another movie that just starts. Pew! Right off from the second one.
Yeah, and they're still filming the next one now. So
yeah, John Wick 4 ain't no
I was
stopping.
I'm looking at the release dates for Keanu's next films. Okay, he has SpongeBob SquarePants, Looking for Gary. He comes in as the sagebrush.
Yeah.
Okay, then he has John Wick 4, and then John Wick 4, and then he has The Matrix 4 coming out.
Oh, don't forget Bill and Ted.
Oh, well, no. I'm just saying this close to each other. Oh. The fun part is what's still going to be better because they're putting The Matrix and John Wick out on the same day. That's what they have, the 21st of May, I believe it is, or something like that.
Keanu Reeves Day.
That's what I'm saying. I'm hoping somebody gets off that date. You know what I'm saying? Just for him. I don't want to have to choose. I will choose John Wick over The Matrix any day of the week. Let me tell you that right now. I will choose John Wick, and I will go every day just to get.
You know what I have to say to that?
What?
Whoa.
Yeah. And then of course later on we have the greatest other Bill and Ted Face the Music. My number 7, a great movie, made me tear up during this podcast itself. Number 7 is Honey Boy, Shia LaBeouf.
How is this not higher for you?
Again, there were other movies that knocked it down, and I was like, I love this movie. I want to put it up, but I just couldn't do it.
Did any other movie make you break down on live air?
No. No other movie has. But again, it still gets me. But it's just a great, passionate play of the life of Shia LaBeouf. And again, Peanut Butter Falcon was originally on my top 10 this year, and again it got pushed down to 15. You have things move around a lot, and I know when we did our update check, we did a health check for like summer where we stand with movies. I think Parabellum was number 1 on my list. Look where it went. It was like number 12. So things do make things pivot and change, and I felt bad about it. But no, I'm comfortable. I'm okay with saying 7 is Honey Boy, something that everyone needs to go watch. Still is. I'm very passionate about it, and I will watch it again when it comes out on VOD. So, and I will probably buy it. So we'll go from there. But what?
And I'll be Knives Out on mine.
Okay, number 7, Knives Out for Ryan.
That was greatly written. I thought it was fun. Rosie loved that one. She brought me to that one.
Yeah, like I said, we can't compete. I mean, it's just a great movie, all of them. So far. Number 7, Jordan. What do you have for us, sir?
Number 7, one that we've all talked about. Peanut Butter Falcon has made my top 10. My number 7, Peanut Butter Falcon. It's I love a movie that's well intended, and it's also a little bit original. It's clever. It's funny. Again, just killer performances here, man. I love a good ensemble cast. And here from a debuting performance from Zach Gottsagen, Shia LaBeouf proven why he's had such a great year this year.
Yes.
Proving himself really as an actor here. Dakota Johnson showing why she can be super charming as well. And then even smaller parts, Brewster and Thomas Hayden Church and Jake the Snake Roberts. I just love this film, man. I thought it was beautiful. It's something I need to rewatch again. And yeah, Peanut Butter Falcon, it warmed the cockles of my dark, dark heart.
That brings us to number 6. This one was, again, just a great film. I know I got to sit up. I'm kind of relaxed at the moment. I'm like my head's just floating. Hey, what is this? Kilroy was here, at this point. But no, my favorite. Oh, there we go, kids. Oh, jeez. Wow, I get comfortable on this couch. I can't help it. This is where you used to sit, and then we kind of switched spots.
Murder mystery.
Number 6, it was with Awkwafina and The Farewell.
Did you say murder mystery?
No. You, sir, are now banned from the show. But no.
I was waiting for someone.
I was thinking,
You
what?
guys don't like my number 1. Is that what you're
Well, yeah. But no, Awkwafina was fantastic in this one. The show was Suzanne Zhao, who plays the nanny or the grandma, who's basically why everyone's there to say she's not dying, but she is dying from cancer. But Awkwafina's portrayal of this character, another Oscar snub. I really am shocked on that front, and we'll talk more about that in our Oscar show. But I have got to say though, Farewell was just to me a heart pounding type of film. Where would you be? If you had to keep that secret, how could you hold up to hold that secret of your grandma's got cancer and she's got a death sentence? How are you going to be? And you can't tell her. You know what I'm saying? This may be the last time you see her. How are you going to go about it? And that is what plagues this family. And it's just an unbelievable film. Very great, very good performances. Awkwafina opened my eyes to her acting ability through this film. Well worth the watch. Again, number 6, The Farewell.
Me?
Yes, Dizzle, I'm sorry.
I will go Honey Boy.
There you go.
Honey Boy.
Yeah, it was. We talked about that. And again, what did you like about it? I mean,
I loved it. Brought it home. I could relate. The kid did great also. And I like that he wrote it also. I like simple films like that where I feel like I can edit, film it, or whatever, no special effects to life,
yeah, it's
heartfelt story.
Yeah, it was just a good film all the way around. Yeah, you're right. Jordan, what do you got for your number 6?
My number 6 is Tarantino's Once Upon a Time in Hollywood.
What?
Gorgeous looking. Again, talk about a killer ensemble cast here.
I thought that'd be higher for you.
That's pretty damn high. 6 is pretty high. It goes to show you the strength of 2019. Yeah. But because again, this is probably one that at different times has been number 3, 4, or 5, maybe. Yeah. But yeah, I just thought it's an interesting take. It's not my favorite Tarantino, and that's why it's here because it is a little less focused than some of his other movies. But in a way, that's part of the charm for me is that this is just different times in this guy's life and his transitioning into now a guest star and the zany, crazy ending with Brad Pitt, which it was a little jarring at first for me. I know some people love it or hate it.
I loved it right away.
You loved it because you're a sick man, Dutch.
Yes, I am, but I loved every bit
I
of
loved
it
it too in retrospect here. So Tarantino, fantastic filmmaker, hasn't made a bad movie. And I hope he continues to stick around because we need more things like this. And he's one of those only guys, too, that, like, I feel like if someone else approached Hollywood with this kind of like idea, like they just wouldn't get greenlit for this about money. Yeah. But we trust Tarantino, so
yeah. Well, I'll be honest. It probably is in my top 30. I really haven't gone sauced all the way down that far, but I can tell you in the top 20, he is not. So But yeah, I can see where you liked it. Like I said, if I could just go on performances alone, I think it's just a very strong performed film. Brad Pitt's still my favorite to win. Best supporting actor. And I just love his character. He's just a great character actor. He's turned into one of the greatest of our time for that. Mine number 5. Let me tell you about Little Women. Little Women was one of my most anticipated films of 2019. It lived up to its billing. The cast alone is well worth the trip. You have Saoirse Ronan, you have Emma Watson, you have Florence Pugh, you have Laura Dern, you have Timothy Chalamet, you have Meryl Streep, and a few others that I can't remember off the top of my head. But I got to tell you, it was just a fantastic telling by Greta Gerwig, who's just a great director, a great writer. Again, snubs. I'm sorry, I'm going to say it. There's snobs as well, and the for women against women. There's got to be some anti-womanish thing going on in there.
Did you see that Winona Ryder '94 version?
Yes, I saw that. That's with Christian Bale as well, I believe.
Did you like that?
I enjoyed that one. It was pretty good. It was just a little. This one was better. It seems like every time they bring one out, it's getting better and better. I just hope one day they just don't put it in like modern times. I still have to say.
That's going to happen.
It's going to happen. It will happen, but I hope it
That's
doesn't.
why you're talking about the Gerwig is nominated. Did you see the official announcements with Issa Rae and John Cho?
Yes.
Her going, congratulations to all these men.
Yeah, and she gets a director snub, and I think she deserves to be in there a lot more than say, God, who is in that? I don't really know at this moment. But yeah, we'll go over that in a little bit. But yeah, Little Women, well worth the watch.
You're entertaining.
And he's
some great acting.
He thinks he's.
Gordon really portrays a guy to switch the cameras good.
Yeah. Anywho, so that was my number 5, Little Women. What do you got for me at number 5, Dizzle?
Number 5, The Irishman. The Irishman. I enjoyed it. I watched it twice. Got to watch it with my father up there.
Jeez, you had over 12 hours to watch that movie. Over 12 hours of your life you watched that movie in? I know it's only 3.5, but by God, man, by God, you watched it twice? I can't find time for that. I can't, no. I love it. But no, it was entertaining, but I don't think it's Best Picture worthy. That's just me.
I do.
No, there's others. Go ahead. Which
I like the cast,
Oh, yeah.
Well,
Well,
I liked in that. What's his name?
Joe Pesci.
No,
I like
Sebastian Maniscalco.
No.
Bobby Cannavale.
The bad guy that kept wearing the beach outfits that he was getting off was getting
Stephen Graham.
Yeah. I think that.
I don't know. I can't answer that question. I kind of was oh, what? What happened? Oh.
My number 5 is the movie.
Number 5.
You will not fall asleep. That's Toy Story 4. Another sequel where a lot of us were trepidatious at first, but we were so pleasantly surprised when it found some great new characters from Key and Peele's Bunny and Ducky.
That made the movie, really.
Keanu Reeves again. Keanu Reeves!
Yeah, stunt guy. Evil guy.
Yeah, and then,
Don't forget Carl Weathers.
Huh?
Carl Weathers.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Finding some more heart in it, kind of ending, Woody's journey, and I just think it's a damn well made film. One of those movies that I think this could be nominated for Best Picture, let alone just Best Animated. Because Toy Story 4, my friend, damn fine film. And now we are here in the top 4. What's your number 4?
Well, number 4. Hey. Where's Jojo Rabbit? He's there. He's at number 4. TW does it again. Yeah, I say it because I don't remember how to say his name.
YTT.
There you go, YTD. And that's TW for short. And I got to tell you, the chemistry amongst this film, the greatness of this movie, brings joy to my just brought joy to me as I watched it. The youths that are in it at this time, the performances of JoJo. Scarlett Johansson, one of her better films, I'll be honest. I haven't seen the Marriage Story. You've seen it. But I say, you know what? Kudos for her for actually being nominated in this role because I enjoyed this role. And, you know, I'm not a very big Scarlett Johansson
Never
fan.
nominated, now nominated twice in 1 year.
Yeah. And you know what? I'll be honest. I'm not a big fan of hers, but this one actually made me enjoy it. And I just thought the chemistry amongst the cast, again, TW's performance as Adolf Hitler was funny and chilling at the same time. The little kid who I can't remember, who's going to play in the Home Alone show, just stole it. It's not a good time to be a Jew, or German. I mean, a Nazi. Not a good time to be a Nazi. It's not a good time to be a Jew during the Nazi era. So good recovery. I don't know. I think I flopped the landing. But anyway, but no, Jojo Rabbit. It was just unbelievable. Sam Rockwell, even Rebel Wilson, they kind of reined in a little bit for me, just enough so she didn't play that daft person she always played, even though she was kind of daft, but not Rebel Wilson daft. So yeah, number 4, Jojo Rabbit, well worth the watch. I can't wait. I've already pre-ordered it. I'm in. Full.
Apollo 11 for me.
Apollo 11, number 4. No, he never said that yet. I don't believe.
What's the one he repeated right after he was like, yeah, that's
Honey
mine,
Boy
too.
and
Knives Out.
We had-
He had Peter Falcon right away. So as far as I'm aware, I'm not taking.
What's
notes.
your 10? Do you have a list in front of you, Dizzle?
Yeah, he's got it right here. Peanut butter Falcon.
It's funny, I think we're all going to be here for number 1.
Oh, I saw
Where?
his list. Well, he can't tell you until we get there.
Oh.
So number 4.
I don't think we will be. We're not going to agree.
So what's number 4 for you?
My number 4 is a movie that you failed to mention, Dutch.
When?
Jojo Rabbit. No, we have the same 4.
We do.
Yeah.
This is the first time we've overlapped at all in our.
We've overlapped,
We've overlapped a few times, which is fine by me. But you and I, this is the first time, and that's a shock. I think
Right
we
there,
might do a few.
right there with you. This is a movie that
We're overlapping all the way.
connects on many levels.
Which
Woo!
one is us? Which one is us? Probably the more handsome one is me. So anyway.
Oh, please. I got that young beauty, baby. Jojo Rabbit. No, this is just a great mix of heart, emotions. It goes places you might not necessarily expect it to go. I've said before, for anyone, including you, and I know you definitely weren't alone, so I'm not singling you out, but for anyone that doubted ScarJo before, I think after a year like this, between this and Marriage Story, which 1,000% both deserve to be nominated, there's no doubt in ScarJo anymore, baby.
Oh, there's going to be doubt because she's got the Scarlet, what's that, the Black Widow movie coming out. So it's that's going to just bring her back down in my book. Sorry.
Why? It's called acting.
Yeah, she still plays the same flatness as a character, so we'll
Oh,
see.
whatever.
Maybe she'll bring something more to it.
Whatever.
I'm gonna still
She's
shit on her
perfectly
parade,
fine.
okay? Do you understand?
I've wanted a Black Widow movie for a while,
You're the
so
only
I'm
one.
happy with it.
You're
Okay.
the only one.
Yeah, obviously, yeah. When it makes $1 bajillion at the box office,
Oh, you call
I'm
me
sure
up when
I'll be
that
the only
happens.
one.
You call me up when it makes
Wanna
$1
make
billion.
what's our box office fight for this year, Jim? I'd love to make another $1 off you.
Okay, my movie will be John Wick 4 over Black Widow.
Deal.
$5.
Deal.
End of year.
All right, hold on. Wait. What is this now? This is the Oscar.
No. We're not betting on the Oscars. No, this is.
This is it's a result coming out of the Oscar.
No. It's there,
What?
it's next this year's box office movies. Yeah. We're gonna bet on the Oscars too. I think.
You
But
think Black Widow and
What do you guys vote on?
it will happen, my friend.
John Wick are going to
I say John Wick 4 is gonna is
Is that
worldwide. I'm not talking
is that
domestic. I'm
2020
talking
though?
all the money. All the
Is
money.
that 2020 though?
Yes. John Wick is 2020. Black Widow is 2020.
Back some of that
Yeah.
Dora money.
$5
lost that Dora money,
for the world,
baby.
buddy. For every ounce of the pennies. All pennies. All pennies.
You know, this argument started off with us being nice and agreeing.
Yeah, now we're just evil toward each other.
How'd this go from, hey, we agreed to screw you, I'll get your money?
I'm taking my John Wick.
He's got John Wick.
I have Black Widow.
He's going Marvel.
Exactly.
People are burnt out on Marvel. okay?
They haven't shown it yet, baby.
They will with this one. Trust me.
What's your theory?
My third is what everyone likes. We're all going to have it somewhere on our list. Number 3, Joaquin Phoenix as the Joker. That is my number 3.
How dare you assume correctly, but assume.
We're all three somewhere going to be on there, but I'm not going to talk about it because we're going to probably talk about it a few times. But I just thought it was a very great movie. I remember you watched it twice with me. You know, the first time you watched it by yourself with somebody or whoever, but then you went to watch it with me, and I knew there was going to be something special if you go and watch a movie with me for the second time, because you hardly ever go two times to watch a film. I think you went 3, did you not, or 2 or 3?
Yeah,
and I think you went more than 3 times, or at least 3 times. I know I went to John Wick 3.
I only went twice.
I went to John Wick 3 times that year. But yeah, the and I remember the first thing I said, and I say it again on this the podcast earlier this year, last year, or late last year, was wow. That's all I can say, and it blew me away. But it's at number 3 because there are 2 others that beat that for me. So what do you got for number 3, Mr. Diz?
My number 3 is Marriage Story. Marriage Story.
What had you going there?
I just enjoyed it. I can relate. It was good, I mean, it had me a little bit tense.
Yeah, that's what I hear. That's what it has. So I really can't. I'm kind of nervous of watching it, but I still will watch it. I'll probably get to it this weekend if I can.
I got a bunch of them. We have a lot to watch.
Yeah, there's so many.
Are you going to see anything at the movies?
This weekend, yeah, possibly. Yeah, I'm not sure which ones yet.
Let me know.
There's a few.
I'm ready.
So, what do you got over there, Mr. Jordanian?
My number 3 is the finale in a story that has started many years ago.
Rambo.
Hell no.
Hold on.
What?
Can I think of one?
Yeah.
47 meters again.
I hate you both. I hate you more. Avengers Endgame is my number 3.
Oh.
It's the climatic ending to some characters of the Marvel Universe. It is super funny. It's some great action scenes as well. I think it's a well-made film from the Russo brothers. From them directing Community to this, it's kind of fun to look at. And yeah, I just think this thing it's a fitting finale. If this thing kind of left any bit of a whimper for Iron Man or any of the other characters, I think there'd be a lot of backlash, but everyone seems to be pretty happy with how this chapter in the MCU has paid off. Endgame. There'll never be anything like it again. There'll be things like it, but never that first feeling.
Well, you never know. They can reduplicate that later on.
We can't reduplicate that feeling.
Yeah, there's other generations coming.
True.
No, I don't know. It was a good film. Top 2 worthy? No, not for my taste, but my number 2, Ford v Ferrari. The chemistry that Matt Damon and Christian Bale is unbelievably good. The cast itself, it's just a tour de force to just watch. Again, the young actor in this film, what's his name? Noah Jupe, who is in Honey Boy, my number 7, is also the son of Christian Bale in Ford v Ferrari. And Tracy Letts as Ford third, Leo Beebe is played by Josh Lucas, who's like the foil of the United of Ford, who wants to see Shelby fail because he wants to take the credit for them winning and all this other stuff. Molly Miles is great as played by Katrina Balfour. That's Christian Bale's wife in that film, and even John Berthal shows up as Lee Iacocca. It's just a great movie, great piece of history. Just watch it, enjoy it. And it's not about cars. It's just about teamwork. It's about looking and focusing on one goal, and that's to beat the hell out of Ferrari. And, and that's what that goes into it. It has a great, just a great story about friendship as well. And it brought tears to my eyes. So
I actually like how you said it's not about cars.
Yeah.
It reminds me of Moneyball. It's not really about football,
you mean baseball? Yeah, but
I didn't even do that. I did that completely on accident.
Yeah. So, but Ford v Ferrari, number 2 on my list. What do you got for me, Big Dizzle? At number 2.
Once Upon a Time in Hollywood. I love Tarantino. I love DiCaprio. I love Brad Pitt. I loved the whole thing.
Yeah, Bruce Dern. How'd you like
I
him?
love Bruce Dern.
There you go. He
Bruce
liked him.
Dern, he nails that role. He nailed it in. What was that?
Peanut Butter Falcon.
Peanut Butter Falcon.
He had the greatest laying still on the bed lines of the year,
Yeah.
didn't he? He just laid in bed, you know?
And
It's
then
just
the
great.
Hateful Eight. He was on the same couch playing that.
Yeah,
You know.
I guess if you get in the older days, you don't really want to have to go run around and act. You know, you just sit on the couch and act. That's the best way to go about it anymore.
Yeah. He played a great blind man, and he's
And he got
great.
himself something. That's what he said. He got it. He said, "I'm getting this girl." You know, he's happy. He was excited.
And I can relate. I like that scene. That scene like had me on the edge or whatever.
Yeah, I was afraid what was going to happen in that scene.
I know.
You know,
Threw it out.
yeah, he did well. So number 2, what did you got for me, Mr. JOP?
So here's a film that Dizzle has mentioned. You have not, and you can't mention it because you didn't see it. Marriage Story is my number 2. Absolutely love this film. I thought this thing was heartbreaking, heart-wrenching. I think in my review, I said more than any probably physical fight, more than any action scene, more than any horror film, there's the fight scene between these two is the most intense scene of the year. It would be a great play if you ever had it, if you ever wanted it to be, because there's just great dialogue. There's also some fun sense of humor. It reminded me, I'm sure Noah Baumbach in general, I just think he has a really nice mix. You know, when his films work, I think they really click, and he seems to be on a pretty decent streak going right now. And there's why, you know, there's a perfect reason why this movie is getting talked about, how it's getting nominated. I love this film.
Yeah, it's good to hear. You guys keep talking it up. I'm glad that you guys put it up on the high list. Like I said, it is on my queue. I want to watch it. I could have watched it not the last night, but the night before, and I just didn't because I watched Leslie. What's her name again? Jeez, I'm awful with names. But anyway, I watched the stand-up. Anywho, now it's time for our number ones. Number ones. I'm going to pull up my number 1 guns. Ready? Number 1 guns. My number 1. I know. You know the effects alone in this show is amazing. Hold on. Let me pull my guns out. Hold on. Let me get the real gun. There we go. We got the cap gun rocking. So anyway, we got it going. My number 1.
All of these people, they thought the budget was going to get canned like around episode 30 or something.
I know, and it just keeps on trickling in. You know, one day we're gonna have bigger pyro and bigger entrances and grander things. But my number 1, I actually reviewed it earlier this evening. I gave it a 5. It just sticks with me. I close my eyes. And that's all I could think of as number 1 is 1917. 1917 is probably one of the best films of the year. And I would not be damned if they didn't win the Oscar for it. I would be like, wow. But at the same time, I am just in wow of that film still. It's just a great piece of history-ish. That history type of story, and just it's just beautiful. I mean, I haven't seen a film like this in a long time. That when I could just close my eyes and say, okay, out of the movies that you saw all year, out of all the listings that you saw, just because it was the most recent doesn't mean that it sticks. No, I mean some movies I see and I'm like, okay, but this one I could close my eyes and I could envision the camera work. I could envision the movements and so it brings a lot to me. And I think it's a very enjoyable film that everyone should run out to watch. When you get a chance, if you haven't, watch it in IMAX. That's how I watched it, and it was just unbelievably beautifully done. So that was number 1. If you hear some rumbling in the background, I think we may have some type of storm brewing. But
But my number 1 is the Joker.
Number 1 is Joker for Mr.
Yes.
Dizzle.
Yes, I love the film.
I had a feeling
was
to be
the
coming up.
Joker for Halloween. I'm trying to show you a photo, but I can't because
You can't
it takes
find
too
you?
long. But it was great. I had a great time. I was playing. What was that? What was the song? Rock and Roll number 2.
Yeah. But by the Gary Glitter. But try not to ever play that song ever again. We do not need to give a pedophile more royalty money for if he plays. So if you ever hear that at a stadium, do talk to your managers and say never play that song again. Because to me, Ode to Rock and Roll 2 is to me anything by Gary Glitter. If you hear anybody play anything by Gary Glitter, do not See, this has now become a PSA. Don't play it, people.
What was it? Girls or boys, or what was he messing around?
Either way, it's wrong. So, underage boys, I believe. But again, I don't want to be sued by him for no apparent reason because I said it was a boy and it may have been a girl. I'm saying it's a child underage, and he's been convicted for it. So therefore, I can say that. Don't play it. Don't listen to it. But yes, watch the Joker. I'm not going to go against you on that. So, Jordan, what do we got, man? What do we got for our number one dealy-hoo?
You'll never guess it.
I'm going to go with, hold on. Did Peter Rabbit come out this year?
Peter Rabbit. Even though it was from 2017, it is still my favorite movie of 2019.
Because you watched it yesterday. That's
I'm going with Dizzle again. My pick's Joker. Come on, man. As you said before, I double dipped. I saw it by myself because it just didn't work out, I think, between us. I was like, dude, let's go again. And pretty soon after. And I don't double dip a lot because I don't want to predict things wholeheartedly, predict all the funny lines or all the impactful moments. But I wanted to immerse myself in this again, see any nuances I didn't quite see the first time. I bought it on Blu-ray last week when it came out. Look forward to seeing it again. Fantastic leading performance. It's something interesting about this character, the fact that we've had now 2 actors play him, 2 actors get nominated.
Yeah.
Potentially, we'll see 2 actors win for the same role. Even though
best actor,
they're
then one was
different.
best supporting actor. So
Yeah, that's interesting too. Yep. So I just think this is such an interesting take. It gives me hope about comic book films because it's such a different way to do it. R-rated, dark.
no CGI.
No CGI, 'cause, and like you said, no real action happens. So 30 minutes in, and
Yeah.
I just think it's a wonderfully made movie.
It's like the first gunshot goes off about 45 minutes in, too.
There you go.
So go figure for a movie that was just a great film. Like I said, mine was number 3, but I had 2 others above it, unfortunately. But yeah, I think it's just it's a good set for both of you. You guys have it at number 1, so I'm outnumbered. But 1917 is my number 1. So you want to just go over them again?
I liked some honorable mentions. I do have some. I did like Rocket Man and Yesterday and some of the. I don't know why they didn't.
Well, I had Blinded by the Light on mine as an honorable mention. Yesterday was good. It's in the top 20. But Blinded by the Light just had a better story for me. Because it was based on a true story, based on a true version of this guy's life. But yeah, I just thought, Yesterday was a great movie. It was just, and again, I don't think audiences are wanting. If you look at my list compared to Jordan's list, compared to your list, we're kind of close, but Jordan has a little bit more, more fun films. I get this, more films. Like I'm not criticizing your films on this, but I'm saying, you have Toy Story, you have, the ones that most people rush out to pay now to watch. Whereas say Yesterday, they don't pay to see as many. And the same thing with, Blinded by the Light. Peanut Butter Falcon, another, we all agreed on Peanut Butter Falcon being in our lists, and no one went out to watch it. It didn't make a ton of money. Same with Honey Boy, didn't make a shitload of money. In a way, you kind of worry about the way cinema's going.
It is.
And so you have to listen to the way Scorsese looks at it. I understand where he comes from a little bit. Sometimes it's a little too pompous.
Well, what does he say?
He just doesn't understand the idea of how, say, an Avengers film could even go up there with, say, an Irishman. Well, you can. I'm saying both of them. You can. They're not apples to apples or anything like that. Each film is its own little deal. But sometimes you look at the simplest ways of looking at some films. Sometimes where this is the formula, so everyone's going to jump on that formula. Whereas outside the box, like Us, the movie Us. The movie, even on ours, Jojo Rabbit, Knives Out, those types of movies where you're watching these films because they're great cinematic films. They're great, well-written films, whereas there's not a lot of, a lot of painted brushed effects. And that's what I think, that's what people want to see anymore for some reason. If you go to the movies, they want to see the big blow-em-ups. Of course, in the theaters surround. But I love to go to a movie and watch a good theatrical release, though. I love to watch a great talkie. I don't care, like Motherless Brooklyn. Motherless Brooklyn, I enjoyed watching that. Or Jordan didn't like it as much. But I enjoyed a movie where you don't have to have an explosion every 5 seconds. I just like to watch a film that is just acting.
I don't mind them and all that. It's just like
I seem like an old man when I say that, but
when they just hire like a team of After Effects guys from 20 different countries and throw $1 billion into it, I'm like, okay,
yeah.
I know it's going to be decent. I know it's going to get all the young kids and all that stuff like that.
But at the end of the day, I think and this is what I've noticed.
I can't watch 30 of them in a row.
No, you'd go crazy if you watch. If that's all you had, I would probably just find me a bunch of documentaries and hole up in my house, and wait for the evil to stop.
It's all fake.
Yeah, and I just think that movies are great. As we all know, they're a piece of us. Every movie that we watch is a piece of us. We take it home, we digest it. But sometimes, like I said, if we keep watching. And again, I'm guilty. I'm guilty of watching Aquaman. I'm guilty of watching Shazam, and I enjoy those immensely. But I couldn't see every movie looking the same. I just, or they don't even tackle something like Slim and Queen, Queen and Slim. I mean, that movie made you think a little bit about race relations in this country. So you have a lot of that in my mind, in which you need to explore those taboo subjects that are people are afraid to talk about, to make them talk about it. And that's important, I think, and that's what cinema's about to me, is to open up a dialogue between, say, you and me or whoever's listening, just to open up a dialogue about how it goes, because before you know it, it's done. But
what did you think about Ricky Gervais telling everybody that they don't need to be talking about giving their opinion?
Well, I don't think celebrities have a lot of wiggle room, but they do have. I don't think I need to hear about how you feel in your politics. Now, if it was something that I didn't know about, like they're helping this Australian disaster that's currently happening, by raising funds and things like that. Social stuff like that, we need to be more open to. Politics, we should always respect each other's views. If Jordan was a thumper of Trump's, we would respect him nonetheless because we like him, but
He wasn't Home Alone too.
yeah. So there you go. That's the reason why he loves him. But the point is, I'm just saying though, I can't say I wouldn't like you if you say we're a Trump or if you were a Sanders kind of person. I'm just stating though that there's no reason to have politics in a movie award show. You can say you're God or whoever you believe in. That's fine. It's just I understand what he's saying though. Keep it short, keep it simple. Just enjoy what this is. That's a life that they're blessed to have, and they shouldn't. But again, like I said, talk about what they think is important. But don't be too preachy. And again, I feel like I'm being preachy right now. So let's move this on.
No.
Because.
I mean, yeah.
Well, no, I know. I'm just saying though. That's what I believe about the movie experience as a whole. It just brings the communities together, makes you open up your minds, and you can think a little bit more about how you treat one another. And that to me, that's always a good thing. If you could leave a better person sometimes on some of these movies, that's great. Now, if you're just a miserable individual, you'll leave that way sometimes if you don't open your minds to what's out there.
Every year, I like, it was like with Honey Boy or Peanut Butter Falcon. I like films, like I've said a million times. If I see myself having the ability to make it, where you got a camera on a tripod or with somebody, you track it. Even if it's the exact same love story that you get every single year, I don't mind it as long as the cast is different and I like the cast and the storyline.
Yeah, if you could come up with something, if you could come up with something that that resonates with the culture of that day. Right. There's movies like you could go backwards in time that don't hold up to me, like Love Story. I think that movie's an okay film, but it doesn't. A love story. It doesn't hold that much resonance into me. I think it's coming out. I think a 30-year anniversary or 40-year anniversary or something like that coming out. But yeah, it's a love story, but it's not.
I watched My Left Foot last night.
How does that hold up?
I mean, well, for a guy like me that makes YouTube videos and tries to put some whatever acting I can into my video, when I see Daniel Day-Lewis on My Left Foot, and then I switch over, and then I'm like, okay, well, he won the Oscar for that, and he did pretty good.
Anything
on that.
he's in, he wins.
And then There Will Be Blood. I'm like, oh my god! And then I watch Abraham Lincoln. I'm thinking, you know what? I got my work cut out for me as far as the
This Daniel Day kid's got a lot of potential.
Yes, he's got a ton of
That guy
potential.
is
Last
good.
he was in Last Mohicans as well, if I'm not mistaken. So I got that chase scene in Last
He's a
Mohicans.
great act. Yeah, we got to do one on his list.
Yeah, we could do that. We do a top 10 on Daniel Day, man. Jesus, he is just.
Yeah. Let's do a top 10. On
He's
Daniel Day.
but the next show. But right now though, Jordan, we got some my favorite segment coming up. That was our top 10. Everybody,
Deja vu.
But no,
Fuck
Deja Vu.
yeah.
Yeah, we're gonna have to work on Deja Vu because no one ever does the work, and I'm still tired of that. But we'll get there. One day we'll finish the whole subject of Deja Vu. But we have my favorite deal. Jordan, are you ready?
Baby, I'm ready.
It's called News and Notable Stuff.
What's up to the news and notables, everybody? I'm JPO coming at you. If you're looking for some trailers that are out, now I'm in frame. I've got a couple of fun trailers for
Where'd
you.
you go?
Morbius is out with Jared Leto. You check this one out, Dutchie?
Yes, I did. It looks very much like the comic, and it makes me happy.
Yeah, man. I've said to myself before, what a fun time we live in. I grew up. I like the Morbius character. He's also had a nice arc on the '90s cartoon. In no world did I thought I'd ever see a Morbius freaking movie.
No.
What a fun world we live in.
You know what? Here's the deal with that.
Excuse me.
I have a lot of opinions tonight, it seems. But I got to this is the first time that Jared Leto looks like the comic book character. And I'm just happy that he's away from the Joker, my friend. I'm glad that he's away from it. So
We also got Fargo season 4. Did you check this one out?
I don't care about that show, but I hear it's good.
What's cool about that show is, as far as I
Look
can
at
tell, especially this one, you don't need to really see anything else. If you were interested, you could jump in. This one does take place back in the day with Chris Rock is joining the cast.
Really?
For season 4. And yeah, it's a prequel of sorts.
Oh, okay.
So I believe each season it's a new cast.
Oh, okay.
If you're looking for DVDs, Blu-rays, and digital, coming out on Tuesday, January 21st, you can pick up movies like Jay and Silent Bob Reboot. That's coming to my house via Amazon. Zombieland Double Tap will be released. Addams Family, Black and Blue, Courier, Countdown, and Pain and Glory. Your box office for the weekend of January 10th through the 12th. At number 5, Just Mercy made $9 million in its third week, bringing it to $10 million. Number 4, Like a Boss made $10 million in its debut.
$10 million.
Number 3, Jumanji Next Level
Next million.
made $14 million in its fifth week, bringing that to $257 million. Number 2, Star Wars: Rise of the Skywalker made $15 million in its fourth week, bringing that to $478 million. And number 1, 1917 made $37 million in its third week, bringing that to $39 million. Golden Globes, just some quick winners for you. Just to put some of the categories on here. Best Picture for a Drama, 1917, Dutchie.
Yeah.
Best Actor for a Drama, Joaquin Phoenix for Joker.
Wow.
Best Picture for Musical Comedy, Once Upon a Time in Hollywood. Best Actress in a Comedy, Awkwafina Farewell. Actor in a Comedy, Taron Egerton, Rocket Man.
Ooh. Yeah, for the movie, for the music, right?
What?
For the music, right? The
No,
best original?
actor. Taron Egerton won.
Oh, did he? Oh,
Yeah,
okay.
Best Actor in the Music.
Oh, okay.
Animated, Missing Link, TV Drama, Succession, and TV Comedy, Fleabag. Some of your Globe winners.
Can I just say this though about
Say it, David.
Missing Link? Who and how much did they pay to get nominated and then win? Because to me that's a farce. And again,
Hollywood Foreign Press.
and again, they did the same thing with the Academy Awards. There's so many other things you could choose, but they chose Missing Link. Okay, there's no thing about this film that's actually redeemable. It's an awful film, and it shouldn't even be nominated. But I don't know. Maybe they're just being nice to DreamWorks because they have such a crappy animation studio that they thought, okay, let's give this away. No, hey, I got something for you, buddy. I got a news flash for you.
Tell me.
You know, our friend Tiki, Taiki. I always TW. Our friend TW from Thor Ragnarok. He is actually in early talks to do a new Star Wars movie. So, hey, I'm all for it because he was the if you watch the last episode of The Mandalorian, he directed that one, and it was the best episode, between Stormtroopers and Baby Yoda I've ever seen. Jason Sudeikis took a lot of hell from it. We talked about that.
I was in Disney Orlando last weekend, and I was at the Star Wars. I saw all the Star Wars stuff. I was in that bar. I rode the Rise of the Resistance.
Yeah, I heard it's like a 20-minute ride. The newest one they just opened up, the Edge of the Galaxy or the Galaxy's Edge.
Different sections and stuff. It's fantastic, and I did that, and I did Avatar. And if you go see Avatar, make sure you go see it at night. I didn't see the Star Wars one at night, but it's great. That was a great experience. Florida residence is like $50, or you can get a 4-day pass for $120 or something.
All right.
And anything else we got going?
Matt Reeves has confirmed Colin Farrell will be joining the next Batman movie as the Penguin. He, of course, joins Robert Pattinson, who's been announced as Batman, Zoe Kravitz as Catwoman, Jeffrey Wright as Commissioner Gordon, Paul Dano as the Riddler, John Turturro as Carmine Falco, Andy Serkis as Alfred, and Peter Sarsgaard in an unknown role. We'll be checking that out, hopefully in just a little bit over a year, June 25th, 2021. Speaking of Batman, Christian Bale might be coming into the Thor Love and Thunder movies in final negotiations there. Again, the character's unknown. Some have been speculating Boulder the Brave. He joins Taika Waititi, who will be back in the directing chair.
I'm in.
Hemsworth, Tessa Thompson, and Natalie Portman returning as well.
Absolutely.
Skip the last Thor, but she's back in for this one. This one, November 5th of 2021. For anyone wondering, is Joker going to be in Birds of Prey with Jared Leto? Supposedly, according to Margot Robbie, she says, nope. Jared Leto is not there.
And he shouldn't be.
The way the story goes, I could see it working out, but she said he's not in. As Dutch, I alluded to earlier, Dutch stole my news article about a Knives Out sequel in the works. Daniel Craig set to return. He's interested. Johnson's interested.
It's a slower pace from the James Bond films, and this is his last one, supposedly.
It's a fun talking role. Yeah, he's a
great actor. Such a
Logan
great actor.
Lucky not too long ago. He's great in Logan Lucky.
Unbelievable.
A news article I don't have written down, but I just found out that I'm excited by. Peacock announced MacGruber's coming back. MacGruber.
Well, we also heard that. I heard also for the Peacock is a Punky Brewster spinoff, I believe. Punky Brewster's coming back.
MacGruber.
Oh, see, I thought that was going to fall.
So Will Forte will be back. There's rumors of everyone coming back. Ryan Phillippe, Kristen Wiig, even Val Kilmer, though he's very.
How about Jericho?
Dead.
Is he coming back?
Jericho. They all died too. Actually.
Well, he could come back.
Only one that's alive is Big Show.
Oh well, he'll come back then. He's alive.
Oscars. Don't forget the Oscars will be hitting the television February. What is it?
2nd.
No.
3rd.
No.
12th.
Maybe.
March.
The Super Bowl is the 2nd. The 18th.
20th.
February 18th.
Hold on, don't we have it right here? What was this? No? The 13th. There you go. No, that's the day that you printed that.
Sunday, February 9th.
February 9th.
Thank you. February 9th is
We're
the
all
Oscars.
flipping through notes and we can't find it.
But if you want to hit up the theater this weekend, y'all, you can see movies like Bad Boys for Life, Doolittle, and in limited release is The Wave and VHS.
And I want to say one thing though. Again,
Son of a bitch.
I can never end this show on something such a note. Anyway, no. Hank Azaria, as we all know, this is
Zaria.
Hank Azaria.
Zaria.
You can call him what you want, buddy. I'll call him Hank Azaria. But he's as we all know, the Brockmire, my favorite show, wrapping up after the March debut this year. But he says, Brockmire, we'll figure out what to do with him. Trust me, he might be back. We don't know yet, but he loves the voice of Brockmire, so he'll find a way to put him back out there somehow. Where there's a will, there's a way. He might make another show in which he just shows up on occasion as Brockmire. So I don't know. I just read the article. It's very interesting. But again, Brockmire will end after season 4, which it comes out on IFC later on this year, March of this year. Not sure what the premiere date is on that yet, but it will be over. I will miss Brockmire. Don't you?
Yeah, I told you before. This is something that I started watching based on your recommendation, and very much fell in love with it. It is so sharply written. Another show that it's hilariously funny, but that it finds ways to really get the feels in as well. Fantastic leading performance by Hank Azaria. Unfortunately, in the last season, he no longer has his assistant. I really like their relationship in the first 2 seasons. But it's a really good show. I'm glad that it's ending just to the degree of, okay, hey man, if that's their story, it's their story. But like you said, maybe he'll do something in the same universe and pop up back in.
Because he says he loves the character. So I love the character. I don't ever want him to leave. That's how great it is. I've went back and I watched the first 3 seasons again, and I'm so tickled to death. The 3rd season, if you have not got a chance to see it, has J.K. Simmons in it, and it's just the best season. It gets perpetually better every time, and I just love it. So that's all we got. We're the next show we're gonna have the Oscars show. We're gonna talk about the Oscar nominations, how we feel about them, and so buckle up. We're gonna have a good time for that. My name is Dutch McAllister, along with
Jordan Pierce Owen saying "Word up to your mama,"
and don't forget our good friend at the Switch Station.
Dizzle.
There he is, everybody.
Thank you.
So
happy 2020. We will see you soon. We're going to have an Oscar show.
Absolutely.
The first show ever to have Beach Bum in its top 10.
That's awesome. That's great.
We're going to be pushing wheelbarrows all down the. We're all dressing up in Beach Bum costumes.
Nobody agrees with that.
Hold on for a second.
Can I dress up as
You know what?
my
Beach
number
Bum
one?
got snubbed with that costume one, man. That's BS, man.
I know you actually predicted that earlier this year that Beach Bum should get best costume. Nomination for that. Did not get it, but
That's crazy.
Pass the Dutchie on the left hand side. Pass the Dutchie on the left hand
Okay,
side.
so with that
I
news,
listened to that today on the boat.
so
He's like, what? I listened to that. I listened to Electric Avenue.
I was gonna do a
Blind
podcast,
Suicide.
but then I got high. I was gonna go to the theater,
let me tell you.
but then I got high.
With all this noise in the background, it's like you're watching Uncut Gems. So anyway, everybody, have a great evening. Thank you for watching. Enjoy yourselves. Be
is how
well.
I win.
This is how you do it, and
This is how we do it.
this is how we do it. It's Friday
Everything's
night.
all right.
Everything's
Boys
all
are jumping on the
right.
left side.
Anyway, I can't know the rest.
I don't know.
I don't know.
Boys jumping on the left side. Does that make sense?
The
I don't
girl
know.
something on the right or something.
Yeah.
I don't know. Anyway, thank you guys for joining us again. Thank you on behalf of JP. For God, who else? B Dizzle. Sorry, I'm trying to remember names. JPO is what I was going with.
It was JB.
JP Owens,
The next wrestling
B Dizzle,
match.
and myself.
Ladies and gentlemen, Real
Thank
Pro
you.
Wrestling, March 15th at the Crown Plaza, and then March 24th at Riverside Community Center. Dizzle versus Dutch in a hardcore death match.
Oh my God! Don't. I will.
We will not be there. We're
I
too
will
old for
body
that.
slam him. I will put him in the figure four.
Is that what we're saying?
I
Oh,
will put him in a headlock and give him a noogie.
Well, we all know what my weakness is, nuggies.
I will.
Anyway.
Put him, I will put him in a headlock and make him watch Beach Bum with me twice in a row.
Dude, that's SmackDown talk. Anyway, thank you guys for joining
I will make
us.
him push
as
my
as
wheelbarrow
as Jordan
down Duval
as Jordan
Street.
usually tells you. Everybody, I love you and peace, love, and out, baby.
when have I ever said that?
I don't know. I don't fucking listen. I'm just here.